to the Nyx Assassin too, so kind of that always the AoE factor. If you're farming with Crypt Swarm, then Nyx is going to have that initial setup.
10 seconds remaining.
It's going to be quite nice. I want to know where they play this Clockwork as well. Is it going to be Destrus playing it, or is it going to be the 3-4-3 Clockwork? It feels like 3-4-3, like you mentioned before, has had a bit of a... So I feel like it's going to be a bit more leaning towards Destrus. But I don't know. I feel like Clockwork is such a good 5 right now if you pick the core that's going to work well with it. Melee doesn't really make all that much sense. I feel like if you can pick something like, I don't know, a Drow Ranger or something along those lines, it can be really good. Not necessarily against a Void Spirit, though. I feel like he's just going to be able to get in on top of you and create too much havoc, disable your marksmanship.
Radiant team ban.
Yeah, definitely would feel like.
Radiant team.
I was about to say it might be a good Morphling game, but they ended up banning it out.
Team pick.
And the Grim. Okay.
Radiant team pick.
I'm trying to see if they're going to try and pick the Grim into something, because it's not the Death Prophet Clockwork, nothing that they've really got at the moment. I guess the hook shot into the Inkswell, but you know, no Soulbind Latch, and it is very nice for this Void Spirit though. I will add that any mobile hero, if you get latched up to someone else, then it's going to limit how you can play in some of the fights.
5 seconds
For sure.
remaining.
I'm trying to think of the popular carries these days that are actually going to make maximum advantage of the kill potential. I mean, you could.
Ricky.
Yes. Ricky, yeah. Weaver, maybe, but I don't know how good that is against a Nyx Assassin. You know, but you're in the tricks of the trade doing a lot of your AoE damage. I guess he does go a Battle Fury though on the Ricky, so eventually you are just going to be straight up right-clicking people.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of someone who you can utilize the Grimstroke in the lane with, but then also not be worried about the Nyx Assassin hunting you. That feels like it's an issue, and well, one of them's a
maybe. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it's. I mean, hold on. It could be Grimstroke mid.
Is it a Grim?
Got a Death Prophet. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, and so if I don't know, with how much I feel like I've got a reasonable understanding of the Southeast Asian meta, they're I'm sure having Omega Esports keeping them guessing a little bit, but in a similar sort of fashion, they're just going to go back to the hard carry. They're like, look, didn't work out that time with the Alchemist, but that's just because he's absolutely useless in lane. Let's try something different. Let's go with a Deucer. You've got space, you've got the Shadow Demon illusions to be able to assist with him. It's a good amount of damage, to be sure.
10 seconds remaining.
And no real burst right now.
I mean,
or like maybe they were even planning for this really early on, because they banned out that PL immediately as soon as that second phase of bans came through.
Well, I guess whenever you have a Nyx as a support, it's not going to offer any real way to deal with the illusions, so maybe you're a bit worried about it. But yeah, I can't imagine, because the Void's okay, and then you still have 3 other picks available to deal with it. So yeah, I feel like it's trying to enable the Medusa. And what you got, like, you've Shadow Demon, I feel like is so incredibly strong with someone like the Medusa. You have the survivability factor, then being able to, you know, chuck out and have a couple of extra illusions, and even the Purge to now kite the Death Prophet. Well, she wants to be running in and causing chaos. Do we feel like Omega? I'm looking for the Underlord. I feel like I've constantly been saying, when you got a position one like this that needs a little bit of space to come online, someone like the Underlord to be this vortex and kind of force the enemy team to you and really limit how you can take these towers. That's what I see. The only issue is then is that it's against a Death Prophet. The percent damage is kind of nice. They got a lot of magic.
And then on top of that, what a Galaxy Racer apply with? The Arc Warden hasn't been banned out, so maybe that's a possibility. It didn't work out that well for them in Game 1, though. Although it wasn't really on Alacrity's back that was the case.
5 seconds.
What are we seeing? We saw the Arc Warden versus Medusa and last time, and I also highlighted the sniper aspect as well. But I think you're going against Nyx and Void, which is already pretty rough. You're going to get jumped on Sniper, you're going to get jumped on Arc Warden, but the way to deal with Medusa is constantly to outrange her. Like, they've already gotten rid of a lot of the cores that deal pretty well with her, and now you're going to have to go for maybe some more of the the second and third best options.
Yeah, I feel like Arc Warden is one of those. You know, you outrange, you have the magnetic field for when the tower pushes do happen. Like, there is no push potential with Nyx, Void Spirit, and Shadow Demon. Zero. Like, all Shadow Demon provides is just disrupting the Deucer and allowing her to do more stuff. Let's see if they're able to pick up something else. It's an Ember Spirit. It creates a little bit of space, so maybe it's going to be a Void Spirit off lane. But again, not the strongest pusher, to be sure. I feel like it kind of has to be the Arc Warden here.
I like that pick on the Ember. One, it's one of Mac's best heroes. Two, if they try and go Sniper or Arc Warden, it's just another way to jump in the back. And they do lack a little bit of ways to control the Ember. Like, again, I think the Soulbind's a great way to deal with a lot of the Spirit heroes. But it's... How will the Ember fare? I'm still trying to think. What? So we're looking... Do you think it's DP2 and a Grim... I mean, I know NA have tried to like run this Grimstroke as a 2.
Grim 2, I mean, a few people have even run Death Prophet as a support, you know, trying to throw it out there, and it's a Slark instead. It's okay.
I like that pick.
Yeah, if you're able to lock people down, it's all right, but again, I guess you're never really going to be able to be caught out by the Nyx Assassin with the Spike Carapace. They've got a little bit of damage that goes through the Shadow Dance.
It's this again. They're running the...
From recollection, it ended horribly for them. No, not the series. That game they lost, I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
Void Incarnate. Ember Spirit. League's Assassin.
Death Prophet.
Done it before where you put Boomy on the Void Spirit 4, then you put the Shadow Demon on a 3. At least now it's you kind of slightly dodge the melee matchup in the lane for the Slark. Also, the Shadow Demon, that poison damage is... It's going to be difficult here for the Slark to be able to deal with. Can you purge off the poison? I cannot remember.
The Shadow Poison?
Yeah.
Sorry, you're talking about the poison, not the demonic purge, right? Yeah.
We'll see. Let's see.
It is not.
So you can't. Okay. So that's another big factor now, going up against the Slark in the lane.
I mean, they've got good gank potential as well, not necessarily against the Slark, but if 343 is out of position once, it's just a disruption into an Aether Remnant. You can literally just surround him with your heroes and then just beat him down.
These boys are good friends. Been loving the chat.
The bants. We love to see it.
Yeah. Some good old banter.
Transcends expectation for a lesson.
See,
I like that chat wheeling, you know. I learned from you. Well, then prepare for a lesson.
That's utilizing the chat lines to perfection. That's the... You know, we see kind of them spammed when it's not really best suited. But then when you use it like that, it's like, whew, all right. Now that's the real purpose of it. This looks like a new Slark set as well. I'm missing all these new sets. When's this one? Shadow in the Deep Armor. Oh, it's an Immortal. Okay. Hey, yo. Looks kind of cool, though. I rate that one.
The battle begins.
Well, how are we feeling for this last game here? Do you a fan of Radiant's lineup, or do you think Dire are going to be able to take this series and remain undefeated?
Oh, it's hard to say. They've both got unconventional offlane heroes, right? You've got KOXY on the 3 Grimstroke. He's going into the Bracer, into a ring of Basilius. Like, what's he going with that? Is it just into a Veil to amp up the magic damage that they're able to deal early on? they are lacking damage. That's the big thing that I'm seeing from Galaxy Racer's side. Not quite so much on Omega Esports side, but obviously they've got a much harder carry in the Deucer that they're going to need to enable, and so they're throwing her mid.
Yeah, well, I feel like the Ember versus the Death Prophet as well, it can be a little bit tricky, right? Because the percent damage with the Spirit Siphon, it's just going to be a bit too much, mainly for the Ember to deal with, and also the range melee matchup. And I don't mind Medusa mid, honestly, because a lot of the time you get a lot of your farm from actually finding levels, like that Snake getting maxed out a little bit faster, that split shot as well. And it's also nice because now Mac can shove out the lane and then go back and farm the jungle. This is what Medusa really likes to do. It's just going to maximize the efficiency, and you can't really do it when you're in a safe lane, because you want to make sure that the wave's completely under your side of the lane.
Sumail nearly getting caught out there by Destrus, but not quite yet level 2. It's definitely some solid kill potential up there once you got the cogs and the battery assault available, which they do now. I'm really liking that they nuked the wave to make sure they were able to pick it up, but in the meantime, Bok ends up going down on the bot side.
I've been wanting to say that since this all
And still going to see CML fall as well up top. So yeah, the lanes right now, I mean, you got a Grimstroke with a Clockwork, a position 4 that wants to be super aggressive, and the Inkswell is just going to enable that. And now you've also got a Slark with an Ogre. You just want to be brawling. Eventually when 343 gets that blood loss, it's going to be so strong for the Slark.
Yeah, for all the damage they're somewhat lacking in team fights, they've definitely got it in the laning stage, that's for sure.
Yep.
And now Tino, he's in a little bit of worry. He's going to have to save the Sleight of Fist, just able to dodge it out with those camps stacked up, but still ends up going down.
Yeah, I don't know. These lanes are so goddamn strong right now from Radiant. See the Clock Grim really paying off here, and I mean Ember in a side lane, it can be a bit iffy, and it's kind of showing at the moment as the Nyx Assassin 5 as well. It's, you know, it's not as strong of a laning support. And once they get 3s, they can just really have this advantage, although Destrus might be in trouble. That extra movement speed's not going to be enough, so Tino will finally be able to hit back.
Yeah, and he purchased up the Blightstone as well, so that might have been the difference maker there. I don't think he's queued up the Orb of Corrosion just yet, but now that you've got the Orb of Venom and the Blightstone, makes complete sense just to be able to transition through to that. Anything that's going to be able to buff up the Deucer is going to be really nice, especially with all those Sleight of Fist hits just proccing it every single time.
Well, Alacrity's having an incredible time down bot. Even though they kind of swapped the matchup of putting the Shadow Demon on the 3, it does not matter. Slark is thriving right now, and you see 343 is doing a very good job as well, just zoning away as much as possible. So it forces Boomy now to try and go from pools, and oh, nicely done from 343. Oh, no, never mind. Thought he got the creeps.
I always love this neutral play. Oh, Tino, he's already used the Sleight of Fist actually, so he's caught within the cogs, and there's going down again.
Level 3s. Oh boy. Second point in battery assault, CKOX by extra point in Inkswell. I mean, now the Ember, like, how do you have a game? And it feels like Ember has to be the one to make the plays to protect the Medusa through the early game.
Oh, the runes even topside. Everything's working out for Galaxy Racer right now. And it's a DD. He's got enough to be able to purchase those infused raindrops, but he had that before on Tino, and it didn't send him out just yet. He has to be so careful about when he uses that Sleight of Fist. Well, you know, you might want to be using the maxed out Flame Guard just to be able to dodge out a lot of the damage that's going to be coming out from Galaxy Racer in the early game. You just cannot get farm if you don't level up this Sleight of Fist. He needs that cooldown as low as possible. Finally, though, able to farm a little bit underneath his tower.
Get some catch up, but it's just kind of the scraps right now, unfortunately, for the Ember. 17 last hits, even for the Shadow Demon as well. Might have a fight break out, however, by the bounties. Alacrity's wanting to come over and take the engagement too. It looks like with the Slark showing, Omega just going to have to give that one up. He is missing some creeps underneath the tower though, so it looks like they're okay with keeping their life and making the Slark lose 2 CS, potentially even 3 if there was an extra melee I didn't see.
And Nico's doing a good job in mid lane as well. You know, just drags the creep wave to the small camp. He picks up the third bounty rune that Galaxy Racer were able to get at that 5-minute mark. And now he can just rotate back towards the mid lane. Hasn't skilled up a point in Exorcism just yet. He's not sure if he wants to farm or push with the rest of his team. I think you really need to be waiting until you've at least got your level 6 onto Destrus to be able to make that sort of stuff happen.
We've seen time and time again where the Death Prophet with that level 6, just the Exorcism, if you can't get some early towers with the first couple of usages, then it feels like the hero can really fall on its head. So, and it's even more important this game where you can just shut down the map and make it very difficult for the Medusa, just limit where she can farm. So all eyes on how Nico's early Exorcism usage is going to come out.
Mac's been doing a good job to salvage somewhat, you know, stacking up for himself because his supports are preoccupied rather in the lane. They're thinking of diving Tino a little bit here. Destrus hasn't put the right click onto him yet, so the tower aggro is still on all of his creeps. And they're just trying to, you know, take out this creep wave so that he can just passively deal a ton of damage to this tower. Here we go, the Exorcism finally popped.
And Tino hasn't disengaged fast enough. Nice juke.
He gets
Like
stunned.
he might still get stunned up from the ink swell.
What?
Looks like it was just out, but they're dragging the creeps on CML as long as they have the catapult, and they've got the illusion as well from Nico. So you're holding that rune, and you can just tank up the tower. So here we go. I was saying, you know, want to keep eyes on this first Exorcism usage, and now they get a T1 tower. Now what does the Ember do? Like level 5, you know, Medusa wants to be farming the jungle. You see they're trying to give a little bit of space to Boomy so he can get some early levels, but this is looking really bad for Omega.
Yeah, for sure. Nico, good rotation through. He's putting in a good showing. I mean, his name says looking for team. Not sure what's happening with Ghost exactly as to whether, you know, they did actually go through any kind of roster changes or if it's just a one-off situation. But he's certainly putting in a good showing. Finally able to grab a kill. And he does end up finishing up that Orb of Corrosion instead of the raindrops. I feel like that's really good, you know, just a little bit of extra survivability. It upgrades all of your smaller items. He might get pounced on here by Alacrity if he's not too careful. Not sure if they're going to be communicating what the skill build might have been. You know, he doesn't have Flame Guard, just jump in on him.
And even you've got this advantage where like you can zone him out of the lane. Like I'm surprised Tino's even getting a little bit at the moment. But it's once again we're seeing this off lane have such a good start, and I wonder if, you know, it's going to be a bit of a different game here for the Grimstroke. You know, at least with this core build that I'm seeing, it's that Boots of Travel and then the E-Blade. So I wonder if he goes for it after the Boots of Travel pickup. But you have so much damage if you get early levels on the Grimstroke. So you'll see just the emphasis on being able to be that +1 factor with the boots.
Do we have any urn being built up as well? So it looks like the Destrus Clockwork is going to be able to get it. Spirit Vessel, another one of those items that's really good against the Dusa because it's based off of the maximum HP, of course, and that's going to drain down the mana really quickly.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They just can't do anything, and this is like where I wonder if I would have rather brought up the Underlord. But how do you protect towers? And you've gone for this lineup that's a little bit wonky here with the Shadow Demon as a 3, and it feels like if it really doesn't work perfectly, then you're now just somehow hoping to stall the game out. So maybe this is where Omega, I mean, I know we're 9 minutes in, nice to know from Void Spirit, but it feels like they're just gonna have to try and really split push this game to give space for Mac.
He was even able to pop the Arcane Rune before using that Exorcism, so even though the tower gets denied, it's just about the area control, especially when you're coming up against a Dusa. You always want a good understanding of the Tricamp area, and you can see that with Destrus as he just uses his rocket towards it, sees that there's not too many stacks, so he knows where Dusa is going to be playing for the majority of the time. And now it's just mid. Just make the rotation through. I mean, it's only 50 seconds until that Exorcism's up one more time, so they can probably look to contest these bounties. Maybe not getting too deep. I think that might be playing a little bit too cute if he tries for that.
Yeah, 3-4-3. A little bit of damage here at the moment. Looks like Omega going to be able to get their third kill of the game. It's taken a while for them to hit the triple count, but it looks like at least they control that area. They get a couple of bounties as well, so small things for them. Medusa is top of the net worth, so even though I'm being a bit grim and a bit grim, I should say, about how the game looking, you do at least have a very far Medusa so far.
Boom, there it goes.
Dire are scared.
They even got the Boots of Travel and the Death Prophet. Okay, very speedy, action-packed. They just want to brawl.
That's all you need, especially against the Dusa, right? Like, you've got the movement speed bonus from the Exorcism, and you need to contest against the movement speed bonus that the Stone Gaze provides. Getting caught out here by Destris, though. He might try for the hook shot. He goes in instead of trying to get away.
Close just going to set up for the Remnant, yeah. So not opting for a disengage, and a nice little movement. We saw the Nyx level 6 getting picked up, Bok as well coming up with the Purge there. So if they can get a couple pickoffs like that, and they need to try and make sure they get some D wards, that's the issue. Even Boomy being the nice support he is, dragging that top wave to the Medusa. So trying to funnel every single creep they can to Mac at the moment.
This is a replay of game number 1, but with the core switched up a little bit here. Sorry, game 2. What was an alchemist that was just being fed everything is turned into a Dusa. You have a little bit more faith in the Dusa to be able to do that, though. Just because your team fight capabilities are so much stronger, you can farm up without having to use that Battle Fury, which means that she can get a few more points into pure stats. Having said that, she is sitting below 1000 HP right now as they catch out Destris one more time. Could hookshot to one of his teammates if he wanted to. Nope, 343 moves out of the way. He's like, you're not going to hook onto me.
Poison's starting to stack up, but Nico popped that Exorcism for the top tower, but he didn't really get too much damage to it because the rest of Radiant, honestly, even though Shadow Demon doesn't get the kill, it was at least kind of halting Galaxy Racer from being able to group up and connect top with that Exorcism. So looked a little bit wonky, but you stop the DP from putting pressure on the tier 2 tower there.
Yeah, I'm not sure about committing for the tier 2. I suppose it's 12 minutes into the game. Like, I don't think that you can look to try and take an outpost that early on, especially considering they weren't even forced to use the Glyph of Fortification. So perhaps a misuse. Maybe taking the mid tier 1 tower would have been so much better, just to be able to enable the rotations through to hopefully catch out the Dusa as she's farming some of these quote-unquote safer jungle camps. But yeah, the Grimstroke, as we were expecting, is going for the Ethereal Blade. So just so much burst damage potential really early on into things.
Yeah, I'm looking for Radiant when they get these double BKBs. I mean, the Nico's going for it after the Boots of Travel. Slark has already got it queued up after the Diffusal Blade as well, which he's about to complete. So, we might still even see them get pretty active with like Diffusal and Ogre Axe on the Slark. Just it's going to be not trying to give any space to the Medusa, but definitely once they got double BKBs, Galaxy Racer are going to feel incredibly strong, and I struggle to see how Omega are actually going to be able to deal any damage once that magic immunity comes through.
Yeah. I do want to see them actually use all of their neutral items, though. They've got a Possessed Mask just sitting in the base for Galaxy Racer. Doesn't need to be fused purely for the lifesteal. I mean, just giving in a strength hero like a Clockwork, that extra HP pool when he's going to be, running in first 99% of the time.
Dire's bottom tower is
Really
under
helpful.
attack.
343 is catching out Boomy, although you've got KYXY here, the double soulbind, but they found him out, Tino.
Yeah, nice jump on the back. Gets the chains onto 2. Boomy's even going to be able to follow up as well. They need a little bit of extra lockdown. Chains still on cooldown for a couple of seconds here.
No one's
so it
dead.
looks like them just splitting up the damage there. It's going to make it that Galaxy Racer, both the heroes can back off.
All right. So I think timing they're waiting for, Nico, get level 12, increase the potential of that Exorcism, take the tier 1 tower. If they can win a team fight around it, fantastic. And, if you've got a long enough duration, try and take Roche. But, yeah, beyond that, it's just the BKB that they're waiting for. Like you mentioned, the Diffusal Blade now finished up for the Slark. He's actually gone into the Possessed Mask and given the Arcane Ring back to the rest of his team. Hopefully someone picks it up. Yeah, it's on the Ogre now. Going to be really nice for 343 just to be able to refresh mana without having to commit for the Arcane Boots.
yeah, it doesn't really have the greatest mana pool and nothing really to sustain all of the abilities, unfortunately. Let's see, it's still looking pretty grim here for the Shadow Demon and the Ember, just giving as much as they can to the Medusa. And Boomy's he's gone for the Witchblade. Once again, we see Boomy on the position 4 going Witchblade.
Okay. How do I feel about that?
They're going to be able to find the Ogre up top, the Spirit Brothers. They're going to be careful because Alacrity's coming over with a Slark and also the Clockwork as well. Tino slowed down. He's already got a Remnant up. He doesn't have too much mana to utilize afterwards, so Death just connects on the hook, and now with the pushback, Tino is officially out of mana. And Alacrity's going to be able to clean up. Pinpoint hook there from the Clockwork enables them to find the position 1, position 2, definitely a position 2 this game, maybe even a 3.
Really nice save attempt there by Boomy as well, making sure that he tosses the Aether Remnant out so that you can get the chase away, hopefully have enough mana to toss either another Remnant out or get the TP away, but yeah, good use of the Dark Pact as well to follow up on that.
Alacrity just wants to brawl, playing aggressive now with the Diffusal Blade. He knows if anyone shows, he can just kind of zone them away with this item here. So you see it's making it very difficult. Before he had this, he wanted to farm a little bit safer, but now he's wanting to control top and really take that farm away. If anyone shows in the lane, just bully him out. As soon as Boomy showed, he's like, no, I'm not giving you any opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why he was holding the Arcane Ring before. It just enables him so much to be able to just do this, you know, spam out his Dark Pact off cooldown, get as much farm as he can, and they're just going to take this away from the Medusa, which really important. Are they going to scout out this one to the left? Yeah, that's a double stack. May as well take it. I suppose maybe
I will say,
looking to prioritize the mid lane. They're just getting the refilling the bottle, having Queen of Pain TP, sorry, Queen of Pain, Death Prophet TP back to the mid lane, and look to take that tower based off of that. All the heroes converging around it.
They need this tower. They're putting it so far. And the hook back up. They want to dive. They've also got the Exim as well. Mac committing with the Stone Gaze. They're trying to deal with the supports first on top of the Nyx Assassin, but CML's able to keep his life, and Alacrity doesn't want to go too far. There's a Diffuser Blade. Still gonna come back up pretty shortly here. Dive, pop up the glyph. Still with a wave pushing in with this Exo. They really want the tower. Let's see if Omega gonna be able to defend it though. Coming through, he's got the Ink Spell now. Now Mac doesn't have the Stone Gaze to be able to protect him. 3-4-3 stunned up, but Boom is going to counter up, and now Stark got to be careful. Pops the ultimate's going to try and look to reset and go back in. One up, and now with the Soul Bind connects on top of the Ember and the Medusa. They're linked up, but they haven't found any kills just yet on the boys on Omega here. So Nico pushing forward with the Exorcism now expiring, and Dire have done such a good job to sustain the fight, and they want to continue on. Alacrity's got to pounce away, but they've got the chase. Tino hunting, no chains unfortunately. Boom is going to have another actual step up shortly, but this is the thing where, like, if you get that tower like 4 minutes earlier instead of using the Exorcism top, it just allowed Dire to get a little bit more levels, a little bit more farm, and now they could actually take that fight. Yes, they've lost the tier 1, but it does punish Galaxy Racer, and they're also going to be able to keep back and get their own tier 1. So Omega, say they have to be pretty happy with that.
They would have to be very happy with that. And just on that point that you mentioned as well, that extra gold from taking the tower, as well as getting that one denied on the bottom side, means that they would have actually had the BKB finished up on the Death Prophet prior to that fight. So just these little things going a bit further in their way. I think he actually ends up buying the Mithril Hammer just before he goes down, rather than at the very start of that team fight. So lacking that 24 extra damage, maybe that would have been enough to burst down CML. Who knows? But some good save being used. Not often that you see a Deucer pop the Stone Gaze just to be able to save the position 5 Nyx.
Yeah, but saw how important it was.
Destress.
Going on the Nyx with this Spike Carapace is hard. Right. He is indeed, as Shadow Demon has no way to be able to get out of the cog. She's going for the Force Staff, such a key item when you're against the Clockwork, but this is when Clock can thrive in the early game, and the teams just don't have this defensive item to really kite him out.
Quicksilver Amulet is so good on the Deucer. Getting a little bit lucky here on Mac.
Dire's structures are
Yeah, the attributes are pretty nutty, honestly. Wow.
top tower is under attack.
Just that extra move
Crazy
as well means that, you know, even if you don't have your Stone Gaze available, still has a 1.5 minute cooldown, so pretty long, but you're always going to be able to get some form of harm.
Radiant's bottom tower
There's
is under
that
attack.
isn't popped. There's the TP that's up towards the top side, wanting to make sure that losing this prompt minute.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Roche has a real potential if they lose this.
I think can start to get very difficult.
Dire's middle
They're
tower
gonna
is
drink
under attack.
otherwise and so get the T1 boss. Honestly, like getting a little bit more expecting on the end, a bit behind, but he's keeping up. Grimshaw very much taking over his counter, but once Tino gets that big KB, if they win it, that next item's very fast, and then he might be able to put some momentum from there.
Sure. Chase Vendetta, it's expired, so not going to catch anyone.
Your place is here.
There's this more stuff, not only on the Shadow Demon, but also this assassin, priority number 1.
Nice purge, and Tino's away from the rest of the team, so Grimshaw not have to worry about the soul. Done it very at the fight here from Mega. Let's see, now Nico has to pop the BKB, incredibly defensive as well. He's taking a lot of damage. They're going to force him away. Now Alacrity's also by his lonesome self. Dire wanting to continue on forward, holding the high ground though. Radiant, they have this vision advantage, maybe even waiting for that Ember to come back. What's funny as well, you know, with just struggling to see how they can get in. They started really well with the hook shots early and kind of the Clockwork Grimshaw combo, but nice target prioritization from the Ember in that fight.
I wonder what his mentality is behind going for this Blink Dagger on the Death Prophet. Like, do you just want to get right on into backlines, get a quick silence off onto, let's say, the Shadow Demon, be able to burst him down in that way, and then, you know, even if you go the Swift Blink, for example, really early on, that cooldown reduction is going to be super effective against the the Arcane Blink for the ability cooldown for an Exo.
Well, the Nyx Assassin power being able to scout out might still fall here though. Banishment from Box just going to give him a little bit of space. Destros, can he get the kill before he dies? He cannot. And there we go. Tino, he's got a double. He's up to a dominating streak now for the Ember, so struggled early, but there's this farm starting to come through after the BKB, and man, the power of the Nyx, just they saw the Grimshaw hiding in that tree line, they jump him instantly, and just Destros a little bit too late. And well, this game, it's been, I don't want to say slowed down because we've still action packed. It's definitely getting the pressure taken away that Galaxy were putting on early, and this is in a with the lineup that Omega have, you really cannot let them get any breathing room.
No, for sure, and that's why, you know, the Blink Dagger is nearly completed now on Nico. They're also going on onto the Slark, so just making sure that you're not needing to commit that pounce for the start of the engagements. You need to be able to put that into escaping away from the rest of the team. I don't think I've ever seen a Slark go that fish bait axe shot.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. It's an interesting one.
Nice against a Ricky, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, Nico has to pop BKB. Oh no, 8 seconds now. So they're doing a very good job at poking, prodding, and this is kind of what so hold up. There's Radiant. They're smoking down bot. They want to take a fight.
Radiant's bottom
They're not all
tower
grouped
is
up at the
under attack.
moment here from Omega, so they've got to be careful. Alacrity's going to jump the back as well. 3-4-3 with the extra control. Bok doesn't have the banishment. He already used it previously, but he's okay. And Slark's now already used the BKB as well. They're moving him forward, but look at the damage from Mac. He's got the double damage rune. Alacrity's got to be careful because he's used the BKB and his protection of the ultimate now with the wrap through CML. Nicely done. He's got the carapace, sets up an Impale as well. Tino's even going to be able to follow up too. They fight both of them, and now Alacrity getting chased without the extra help of the rest of the team. Slark's going to be able to get himself away, but
Radiant's bottom tower
this is
under
still a
attack.
game where Mac is starting to become the raid boss.
Yeah, for sure. Getting closer and closer to those 4 staffs as well. Only about 60 gold away for the Shadow Demon. That's really going to provide them with an additional level of escape. You saw that time the reason that the start of that team fight went a little bit more in favor of Galaxy Racer is that Bok had just used the disruption to enable that push onto the tower. He's just like, dude, just throw the unit spot. Why not? I think they're probably going to expire before they even reach any of the creeps, but the sentiment is there.
Maybe they get booming? They're wrapping through. Yeah, man, look at it. Double boots of trouble, even try and protect the creep wave with the glyph. But Dyro coming over. Got an immense amount of rotations. Mac as well with the rotation through to that outpost. That's just going to try and split himself away from the Slark, so it will allow him to escape here. Although Tino's hunting. He's back up, 3-4-3, just another sacrificial lamb with his support. They're like, oh, take me instead. But this game is now gone heavily in Omega's favor, the 4,000 net worth lead. And are we worried with how Galaxy Racer weren't able to do enough through the early game?
I am a little bit, just because it highlights how important getting essentially every perfect exorcism off is whenever you're playing as a DP. Even now, Mac, he's reached his level 20 just about. Honestly, it's one of these games where both of those options are perfectly fine. You know, the Mystic Snake cooldown, of course, very effective at how Galaxy Racer are trying to play this game. Just all in, heavy burst. You know a Slark wants to be in the middle of a fight. You know that a Death Prophet needs to be in the middle of a fight. Same sort of thing with the Clockwork and the Ogre. So Mystic Snake's going to do a lot of damage. And, well, the Stone Gaze isn't too bad as well. We've seen it used before just to kite out a lot of these BKBs that are being popped perhaps a bit preemptively by Galaxy Racer.
I like this item switch up from KYXY. He's going for the Agnums. This is going to be such a good game for it against Medusa, who feels like it will eventually be. All the damage is getting dished out from her. And it's just the stats getting picked up. Yeah, this dark image, it's going to do a lot here, I think, if once you're able to pick it up from KYXY.
Dark Portrait's so great against your heroes, you know, your TBs, your Deuces, your Spectres, and you know, why not exploit one of the big strengths of the hero? Only about, what, 300 gold away? So, just wanting to prioritize a little bit more of his farm. He's playing with fire, playing that deep with essentially no vision, but able to get away before scattered out by CML, who does have his 4 stuff now. Same thing with the Shadow Demons, so their teamfight potential has skyrocketed on Omega.
Yep. Yeah, now you're seeing how difficult it is for them to start fights from Galaxy once you have these defensive items that Omega are able to dish out. You on Dire, you've got a Nyx Assassin to scout, but mainly it's kind of the Ember and the Void Spirit. And Void Spirit's also almost got his Agnums too, just looking for the last component here with the Blade of Alacrity, so it's going to make it even easier. And well, guess what? There's just another DD on the Medusa. What more could you want?
Oh, of course. Why not? Well, a Roche would be nice. He doesn't care about no backdoor protection.
Radiant's middle tower.
Siege away. He's even walking up aggressive here. So, I mean, they're gonna have to pull something out of the hat here pretty soon, Galaxy Racer, because this is a game that's continuing to just allow Mac to free farm. Like, you take a look at the net worth, it's about to be 20,000, and you know, I mean, the Slark is 7,000 difference at the moment. You're just not able to farm as fast as what the Medusa can, and it's really showing at the moment. At least the Skadi is a big item here against a range carry.
Yep. It's going to be real nice for him to be able to pick that up, but it's a question of, are you going to be able to get it in time before these big abilities start to go a bit more in your favor? Like now you've got the Paladin Sword as well on the Deucer, so dishing out even more damage. You're not worried about survivability at this point. You've got a Shadow Demon, you've got a couple of 4-staffs, and you are, like you mentioned, 6k net worth ahead of everyone else.
Even Spider Legs now, she wants it. Oh, she's actually got yeah, you don't want that. You got Paladin Sword, you're chilling.
Yep. Who are we giving that over to? Maybe the... Who do you even get? It might not even be... It might be one of the few games where it's actually not a great Spider Legs game until like super early on when the Deuce is forced to drop her boots just for an extra damage item.
Yeah, we'll exactly like you said, and probably see it later. That's always the nice thing, that like you can, even if no one really likes it throughout kind of the mid game, if you completely 6-slotted, you need that mobility factor when you drop the boots, and it's always is utilizing everything to your advantage. Oh, that's even nice as well. The extra cast range, the pushback, that's so good when it starts. Yeah, and yeah, even a Clockwork too. Wow, that's crazy actually. So that's a really important item here. Do we see Bok potentially picking up the shard relatively soon, just to, as the Spirit Brothers find another nice pick off down bottom of the Grimstroke? But do you think Shadow Demon, when do you want him to get the shard this game for the Medusa? Do you even want the shard? Like, there's not much you're dispelling. Is it just that heal factor?
I mean, I'm just trying to think. It feels like I don't mind the Blink Dagger that he's going right now, just because of being able to repositioning himself in team fights. You can see, despite being a position 3 Shadow Demon, he's sitting below Boomy's net worth. So it's just constantly dying can't continue to happen in these team fights.
Well, Radiant gonna have to do something, but they don't have this big hero in the Grimstroke. This team fight factor, that Soulbind as well, is so annoying. Well, they find the Nyx, but Bok even flying through just to protect him. They are making sure no man dies in the line of Omega. Space stops Roche from getting claimed just yet, and Radiant, they're back alive here on the Grim, so they're going to try and converge in. Doing a very good job of kiting them out, and now finally the Age is going to get picked up with the high ground. However, Ember gets caught out. They've already used the hookshot from Destrus, and Tina's going to try and shove away this Grimstroke so he won't be effective with the team fight. Now with the Aghanims as well, Boomer gets a silence. They kill off the Nyx, but it's already 2 down from Galaxy Racer. They're completely cut out the fight. They're continuing to at least chase them up on the high ground. Boomer without an ultimate charge, but the big target is it's in the river. Alacrity pops the BKB, but they've got the Scud. He's going to try and go for a TP out with the cover of the Shadow Dancer. He will make it, but the mobility, Tino, he wants more blood. However, hunting on the vision advantage just yet. Looks like he didn't see where KYXY was running off to, but it's a 2 for 2. Nyx does buy back there, but nonetheless, get the Aegis.
Yeah, don't get the Aegis. You force another BKB charge out of the Slark, always going to be really useful. Reduces the need to use the Stone Gaze in that sort of manner. And it was actually the Ember Spirit using the Spider Legs that time around. I suppose around a Roche Pit, that's always going to be really helpful to have, just that traversing potential. And again, Refresher, Orb, Ember Spirit.
Sheesh. Been so impressed with how Tino's actually caught back up in this game. Struggled in the lane, and now he's 3rd in net worth, and just his play as well. Usually the Grimstroke is such a great way to deal with a lot of the Spirit heroes, but it goes back and forth too, because these Spirit heroes, they have an incredible catch potential and to zone you out of a fight, and as long as you play away from the rest of your team, and if you don't get latched up with the Soulbind, then it just doesn't matter.
They're a little split right now on Omega's side, as well as Galaxy Racers, though. They're just letting him completely siege this with the addition to the tower. He's like, don't worry, Cardi, I'll deal with them all.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
There's that Dark Portrait.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's
That's
top
so much
tower
damage.
is under attack.
It's gonna get a decent amount of farm. How long does it last for? 25 seconds, okay. 10-second downtime. It's gonna be nice.
Never bad.
It's definitely a big pickup, but if you don't get it off in a fight, then it's a bit wasted. You see, like, what do we think KYXY has to go for? Does he need like a BKB or something just because the Ember? Because it feels like Ghost Scepter, yes, he wanted into that E-Blade, but you don't have something defensive against the Ember, and he's constantly going to jump you. And now it feels like if you don't have something to keep yourself alive, then the Aghanims doesn't do anything because you're not Medusa.
Yeah, it's going to be rough for him. I feel like the Blink Dagger is the way to go. Just as soon as you see... It's going to be harder now, of course, that the Ember Spirit's got the Ag Scepter. So he's just immediately going to be able to get in on top of you. But it's just one of those things where it's those split-second plays that can make the difference. Fast fingers that I do not have anymore. I used to have them in my heyday.
Radiant's top tower
Not quite
is
so much
under
now.
attack.
That's why I'm a 5.
There he goes.
5s can make the plays. Sometimes. Alacrity. Where's the angle? Who do you jump? You got the blinks, gonna reveal it. Mindbreaker as well, but instantly you see Bok, great positioning on the Shadow Demon. They're playing down to this southern side. Sorry, I should say the northern side.
You know they're coming through. All this vision up on the high ground.
just put Mac on the front. What can you do? That's just no the hook shot. It doesn't work out at all. At least Alacrity, but he pops the BKB. He wasn't able to find Boomy. He's able to disengage with the simulator, the actual step. They're moving forward for more. But who can they catch? Mac chasing down the Stone Gates. Now with the Sky is slow. They're in trouble. Alacrity, he's already popped the BKB, so he just has to turn and run. But it means that the Death Prophet gets caught out. Tino shows up. 343 is going to pay the price as well. The crits from Mac gets lucky enough. Beyond godlike is your Medusa. And this, it's just, I don't see how they win. Even though Slark loves versing tanky heroes, you just have the rest of your team, it feels like their lineup just can't shine along with him.
Yeah, it feels like he can never get on the target that he actually wants to, and whenever he does get on the Medusa, that's when the Stone Gaze is popped. So, like, you just cannot do anything against it. You even went, like I mentioned before, that Stone Gaze duration to prevent any kind of capability for that.
Alacrity, silent stop. Now he's going to end up falling as well. They just baited him, and now Refresh Orb's going to get popped as well from Tino. He just wants the clockwork for it. Put it on cooldown. Why not? Chuck him in the grave for a Mega. Siege in the high ground. Full set's going to be claimed down bot. And they're going to try and look to go mid as well. They are lacking some creeps. That is the big issue. So they're going to have to go through backdoor protection, but still Tino, no stuns really to have to worry about. KYXY will fall, and Mega been all over this game after about the 15 minutes.
Yeah, wasn't able to use the Dark Portrait again, so just like you mentioned before, it's 4,200 gold that just goes completely useless.
I think this one's probably over.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't know what the win condition is for Galaxy Racer, how they're able to come back. It's looking grim. You know, maybe you get again. I mean, yes, the Dark Portrait's so nice, but
it's so much damage on Mac right now, and he's even got the Mjolnir, coming out to him. Additional attack speed for himself, as well as about to reach that level 25. So Split Shot uses modifiers. I don't think he's going to get to that point. They're going to call GG before that.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
Megas, Galaxy, what do you do? Destrus goes in instantly. Ember's going to be able to follow up to deal with the back, so it just counters up any extra damage follow-up that they have. Melts through KYXY, Ghost Scepter won't protect you. Alacrity's back alive. Let's see how deep the dive. Yes, they've got the portrait, but Mac's still standing his ground. Nico's going to blink in, but look, it doesn't matter. Mac, Medusa just shredding him back inside the base. They do lose the Ember. Mac's going to scurry off to the tree line. What more can they get? He's even protecting and Boomy just in case they jump. There we go. Alacrity wants some blood here. You accept it, but he's still got the dissimulate, still got the actual step, but the pounce is able to stop that. Can he survive long enough? Actually, maybe. Boomy.
Oh, no.
One charge, two charge, keep you out. Nico, couple of seconds for the Crypt Swarm, but it's a bit too late. Oh no, he makes it away. Boomy, God, tip them all.
Give me the team comms, Omega Esports. I need to hear it. I was about to say, like, you know, maybe Galaxy Racer were like, we did it, guys. We killed the 4 Void Spirit, but not even able to get that. Lose Megas, buyback used on the clockwork, another BKB charge. It's just looking next to impossible.
Battle Fury time for you, Alacrity.
Ugh.
I don't know how you deal with Megas with this lineup.
You do not.
Well, Alacrity might be dead here. It's just a Shadow Demon, but Mac! Jesus, the crits are through the roof, Alacrity. Okay, he's got the ultimate. Whew. Man, Mac almost just melted him down. At least they'll get the Ogre. 343 is going to get melted. Alacrity will blink back on forward.
Now's their only chance.
Trying to fight.
They don't have the Ember. They have to go right now and kill. But he's just backing off.
He's got a TP out. He will just make it. KOXY chucks up the Soulbind as well. Medusa's got 30,000 net worth. The next highest is 19k for the Ember. And now that they're back inside the base, it's going to allow the creeps to get set up as well. You see the buffer buildings getting brought down, and when the 4 heroes on Galaxy Racer have to try and hold the ground, but they won't be able to. The setup on top of the Slark, he doesn't have anything defensive. And that's going to be all she wrote. Nico running back into them, but
those split shot modifiers now coming into the equation as well. That'll be it. Undefeated.
No buyback
Omega
for
Esports.
Radiant's middle tower is under Radiant's middle tower.
like the hot contester for making it up into the upper division. They're going to try their best, but it looks like the damage was already lacking, and even without the Slark, jumping back and forth, Tino celebrating with an immense amount of remnants. Maybe they get Mac. No, they won't even. Omega Esports continue and 0 now throughout the lower division, remaining undefeated. I am just defeated the